Ringside Reality.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Ringside Reality. I'm your co-host, Chris White. I'm joined by
Johnny
Lilly.
Johnny Lilly it is.
He's joining me. Yeah, the magnificent Johnny Lilly, I heard, is his self-proclaimed name these days for some reason.
We're on episode
He's
6.
no
Watching. We're going to talk about some wrestling.
We've had a little bit of a break due to stuff that gets in the way, life, stuff like that, but we're back.
We're back.
Alright. Okay. Sound like friggin' Brian Johnson from Easy, didn't I?
Yeah, so we got a lot
it's
of.
been a while.
We got a lot to talk about, eh?
Well,
busy couple
we're
weeks.
trying to narrow it down to the big stuff here. There's been a few weeks since we talked, and Extreme Rules came and went, and a couple of horrible Raws came and went. What else has happened?
Cody Rhodes.
Just getting rid.
Cody Rhodes.
Oh no!
Is gone.
Wait a minute. Did I just say Extreme Rules? Which pay-per-view was last? Payback? Or?
No, Extreme Rules was.
I can see they all just
blends
kind of
together
blend into one, no?
Cody Rhodes.
So,
that's big news, eh? Cody Rhodes is gone.
Yeah, Cody Rhodes left willingly. It sounds like anyway.
Would you hear what
a couple of writers on the bus?
You hear what his next match is?
Yeah, he's taking on Kurt Angle. I heard.
Yeah, I heard it today. Is big news.
Which kind of disappoints me because I heard it was in August, which means that I kind of hope Angle is going to come back to WWE. But
yeah, from that
if he's got
the tweet I sent you,
he's got dates lined up until August. That's not good for a potential return to WWE.
But I did hear that I was just reading just then that American Alpha, apparently there's rumors that their call up to the main roster is in the fall.
Oh,
so
really?
they might bring in him to be their coach, mentor, /
well, yeah,
Team
I don't
Angle
think he's gonna come
2.0 kind of deal.
He's not going to wrestle a full-time schedule when he comes back.
God no, Jeff Fuller is eating,
Angle's
man.
broken a piece of meat, man.
Yeah.
He's fucking done by. I mean, I'm pretty sure that, like, I swear to God, like Bruno Sammartino's in better shape than him.
Oh yeah, he's rode off, man.
Lex Luger's in better shape
Oh
than him.
come on, Lex Luger's in a wheelchair. I'm pretty sure.
Hold on, Draws is in better shape than Kurt Angle.
Draws paralyzed.
Draws in better shape. Maybe forget. I don't know what's going on. Old D'Lo Brown almost killed Draws. It wasn't D'Lo Brown's the one that did it.
D'Lo Brown murders Draws.
D'Lo Brown was a solid mid-carder in the Attitude Era until he almost killed Draws and he just pushed him back to the freaking jobbers at us. But anyway, D'Lo Brown's not exactly a hot topic in 2016.
No. Yeah, Cody Rhodes is gone.
Cody Rhodes is gone. Yeah, that was a bit of a shocker. That he was once again just fell a victim to the system.
Well, apparently, like you see the big release that the statement he released about how like he asked.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah.
He asked for certain things to happen. He wanted to drop the Stardust character, and they wouldn't let it go. They wanted to make him a joke, and I can sort of understand it. It got to be kind of frustrating when guys can't do their own thing a little bit. I can understand not letting everybody do their own thing because then it gets just ridiculous. But he's a solid guy. I mean, they could have given him a little bit of a chance. I don't think he'd ever be world champion, but I mean, I always thought he was a good talent.
Potential to be. I mean, used right, I thought he could have been probably like the world heavyweight champion when that title was still on the go.
Well, the thing is, like,
I mean, he was.
Anybody can be built that way, though, in my opinion. Well, not anybody, mostly anybody. If you got a good talent, you can talk in the mic. I think the WWE could build you if they did it right.
Khali?
Well, they could build him. I mean, who thought like The Rock was going to be a world champion when he first came in as Rocky Maivia?
Yeah, but now that's horrible.
The ringmaster, Steve Austin comes in as the ringmaster. Who was like, you know what, that guy's going to be a goddamn legend. Nobody said it. It's how they built him and how they give him their chance, and you know.
Yeah, but not everybody's going to take the mic and do what Austin Rock did is the problem.
No, and that's what I mean. Cody Rhodes wanted to, though. He even said he wanted to take the initiative, but he wasn't allowed to. I don't know.
He could have been something, but so he went, and I don't know. I was kind of disappointed. Like, I wasn't horribly shocked, I guess, because he didn't seem like he really cared about that Stardust gimmick too much. And, well, not only him, nobody cared about that Stardust gimmick. So he kind of seemed like he was just going through the motions and phoning it in a little bit. So I wasn't shocked, but it's kind of sad to see. I mean,
I kind of liked the character. Like, I thought that he took that character and kind of made it his own. If you see the Edge and Christian show, the deal when he was on it, and even when he had that thing going with Stephen Amell and Arrow, he kind of played off that like wacky supervillain kind of character. Like
It just never got over.
He was
right?
trying. He was trying though. Like they should have given him a little bit of credit.
But at the end of the day, I shouldn't say getting over doesn't mean anything.
God, no.
Anymore. If you watch wrestling or WWE the last 3 weeks, you'll know that getting over doesn't mean anything anymore. Hence, Seth Rollins and AJ Styles being the two biggest baby faces on the show, yet both of them are heels now just because Vince wants to protect Reigns. It's basically what it is. I mean, Seth Rollins coming back as a heel is the most mind-boggling thing I've seen in a long time. I mean, everybody wants to. I wanted to cheer him. Everybody wanted to cheer him. Everybody still wants to cheer him, and everybody wants to boo Reigns. And what does Vince McMahon do? Take the guy that everybody wants to boo, and make you cheer him, and take the guy that everybody wants to cheer, and make you boo him. I mean, he was coming back. He knew he was going to be white hot as a babyface. He's been gone for so long, and he was even kind of cheered as a heel last year. And then the same thing with Styles, who's like basically the most over guy in the company. And they turned him heel too, and it's all just to keep Roman Reigns protected because they don't want anyone else to touch his spot.
Yeah, it made no sense to me. So, yes, I do like Reigns as that chicken shit heel. I really do. I think he plays it up really well.
Oh, Rollins, you mean?
Oh, sorry, Rollins, yeah. But against Reigns, take for example, anybody who's seen Raw last night, Roman Reigns comes out, he cuts this absolutely horrible promo. It was absolutely shit. Rollins comes out, he doesn't say a goddamn word, and he tells more in the time that he was out there than what Roman Reigns could ever do in it, though. His facial expressions, his running back and forth, proved that he was a chicken shit heel, that he wasn't going to give Roman... he did some storytelling with his running back and forth, and the mind games, this kind of deal. Roman Reigns just gets in the ring. I'm the guy. This kind of crap. I'm just go away. I don't.
Well, what? Yeah, I know. Rollins he's better than Reigns. That's it. That's as simple as that. But basically, I'm kind of just preluding a story that came out today. Meltzer came out with a story today about this Rollins and AJ and Reigns thing, and I'm just gonna read you a little tiny bit. Tell me what you think it is. So Meltzer said, bringing babyface Seth back, or not as a babyface, was dumb. Reigns is dying in his role, and the other part of him is the house show sales are going down with him as champion, and they're on the descent, not the ascent. And basically what he's saying is that determined Seth Rollins and AJ Styles have both been turned heel because Vince sees them as getting too popular and too much of a baby face, and he wants to protect Reigns, so he's actually willing to take people that can make him money. Vince is so obsessed with Reigns becoming the guy, and he's clearly not the guy. He's never going to be the guy. You know that. Reigns is not clicking his baby face. I think we can agree on that, right? So he's basically taken AJ Styles, who's the hottest babyface in the company, and Rollins, who will return as the hottest babyface in the company, and he's ruining them intentionally just so that Reigns can have the sole spot as the guy. This makes me almost want to stop watching wrestling, because this is what it's become. I can't even watch it. The fans want to cheer someone, but Vince McMahon is so old and senile and got such a hard on for Reigns and his sexy body and his look and all that crap. He's actually willing to throw people under the bus. It just makes no... please explain this to me, man. If you're in business, don't you want to make the most money off the right talent? It doesn't make any sense.
The way I look at it, if this was 20 years ago, he'd be a solid mid-card. That's it. With the way he's getting...
Lex Luger.
Yeah, with the way he's getting booed, he'd be failed, given up on. People talk about how, The Rock and Austin and Undertaker and all these guys... The fans had to get behind these guys for them to be given a push, though. So they give him a chance. So let's say Austin wins the King of the Ring and does the whole famous Austin 316 promo. And the crowd absolutely shits on it. For the next, 2 weeks, he comes out and tries to get over this Austin 316 thing. Nobody's catching on to it. They boo the shit out of him. There's no signs that say Austin 316. You know what? It's going to be dropped.
Well, of course it's going to be dropped. But that doesn't work. Like, prime example of that, like, the actual prime example of that is Lex Luger, the Lex Express. He put every bit of money that company had left because of the steroid scandal in WCW and put it into Lex Luger when Hogan left. He made the new American hero. So Hogan left and he made Lex Luger the guy. And he made him tour around America. He had him body slam Yokozuna at the SS Intrepid there or whatever in front of like 100,000 people. He had him coming in a fucking helicopter. He had him wearing the tights. And he failed miserably. Nobody got behind him. And like 8 months later, Vince dropped it. He said, well, that didn't work. Yeah. But he doesn't do that anymore.
He's not doing it, yeah. Like, they're still
he's literally
get this,
but he's ruining opportunities. He's ruining opportunities, man. Like, he's literally ruining everything right now with chances. Like, he has a chance with Styles and he had a chance with Rollins here. He's ruining everything just to get Reigns over. He's missing opportunities to make money and to make new stars just to keep Reigns protected. Vince is literally doing everything he can, no matter the cost, to keep Reigns as the guy. He's hurting other talent to do it. And that's actually making me sick. Like, I can't... You do know, like, that the crowd is definitely not... When this match happens at, what's the next pay-per-view, Money in the Bank?
Yeah.
Do you honestly think that the crowd's going to boo Seth Rollins?
God, no.
No, so what's the point in forcing it? Like, it's something that he's been doing for a while. It started kind of back with Batista and all that stuff with Bryan and everything, and it started kind of with CM Punk too, and, like, people that start getting themselves over kind of thing. And Vince just kiboshed it, right? But now it's getting to the point where, I mean, why did he turn AJ Styles heel, man? Let's be honest. Like, okay, fair enough. Someone could say to me, well, AJ Styles plays a good heel. Well, I don't give a shit if he plays a good heel or not, because he's going to get fed to Cena. The only reason why they turned him heel was to A, protect Reigns so that Reigns could be the only number one babyface, and feed him to Cena. Like, so, if anyone thinks that this heel turn by AJ Styles is going to end up being good for AJ's career, they got another thing coming. Because he's in the machine now. He's in the Cena machine. And he will be chewed up, spit out of that pretty damn quick.
So, I'm going to talk about...
where this is going to end.
There's something that just happened just then. I'm looking at the Smackdown spoilers, so if anybody doesn't want to know the spoilers, then don't listen. But... listen,
especially Smackdown, because that's a hot ticket.
Yeah, listen to this now. So AJ Styles and the club attacked the New Day on SmackDown. So, and the main event was, or I think one of the matches was AJ Styles versus Kofi Kingston. So they beat down Cena on Raw, and now they're beating down the New Day on SmackDown. So he has nothing to do with Cena. I don't know if that's a one-off, and now they're going to have the club feud with the New Day.
No, I can tell you where this is going right now, man. I can tell you where this is going right now. What's the one thing that Vince McMahon always did with Cena? He put him with white-hot, red-hot baby faces, and to latch onto him, basically. Anytime there was a hot baby face, Cena would come out and wrestle with him or tag with him, because it'd be sympathetic cheers for Cena because he's with the white-hot guy. You know what's going to happen? Come Raw, Cena's going to be teamed up with the New Day to take on the club. And then, by proxy, you cheer Cena because he's with the New Day. I guarantee you on Raw next week, it'll be the club versus Kofi, Big E, and Cena, 6-man tag main event. If I'm wrong, I will literally e-transfer you $100. Because I know that's exactly where this is going, as soon as you told me that. I know it. They're going to put Cena and the New Day versus the club, and then the only thing that makes sense is why did they have anything to do with New Day on Raw? I don't think, did they?
They attacked the New Day.
Oh yeah, so that's right. So now that's it. So Gallows and Anderson are feuding with the New Day, and Cena's feuding with AJ. 6-man tag, Raw, classic. I don't know. You know where that's going.
See, what Gallows and Anderson did on Raw is what they should have done when they started.
Yes, that should have been their first night. They should have attacked the New Day, too. They shouldn't have went for the Usos.
They should have came in and even not just attack one team. Like, I honestly expected them to attack, like, the Dudleys and Enzo and Cass. Like, they should be coming out and attacking all the tag teams. Like, they should be just kind of dominate. Like, if they're... I know what they're trying to do. Well, they're trying to emulate the Bullet Club a little bit, obviously, from New Japan. But the thing about the new club, the Bullet Club in New Japan, is sort of like an offshoot of the NWO was. So they try to take over. They don't care what you have to say. They swear on TV. They take over. They interfere in matches and yada, yada, yada. That's what it's supposed to be. They come out and they do whatever they want. This just seems like two guys who just showed
Well, they're
up.
just in their furnace in the fawn or something, man. They're just a regular. They're just a tag team.
Well, like I said to you, I know who they are. I know how good they are. I've followed their careers in New Japan. People watching them now are like, oh, those are the guys who barely beat the Usos.
Those are the guys that lost to the Usos clean on Raw a few weeks ago, man.
Yeah, like I don't get that at all.
Usos. So the whole AJ thing, the Rollins Reigns thing, and they're trying to. No, that's another thing. They're trying to sell this Rollins and Reigns. Like the Reigns experiment needs to end. Okay. Like, it really... It's actually getting me to the point where I don't even know if I can watch it. That's how much it's pissing me off, because they're insulting my intelligence. Like, I know I'm a wrestling fan, and I'm a redneck hick, and I'm a nerd or a geek or whatever for liking wrestling, and I'm not supposed to have that much of an opinion, but they're actually insulting my intelligence with this Reigns thing. It's gone on too long. He's won, like, 2 Royal Rumbles. He's been in 2 WrestleMania main events in a row, and he's not over. He can't speak. He's got, like you said earlier, he got no facial expressions to sell a story. He can't do anything. He's a decent wrestler. That's about it. He's got nothing going for him except for he's kind of a big guy that has Vince's look. Vince's dick gets mad hard when guys got the look. You know that. It don't matter who's over or not. If he's got, but he's actually so intelligent. So that needs to end. But this Rollins thing, they're selling that like it's supposed to be the biggest match of all time. They're like, oh, this could be the WrestleMania main event. Is it just me, or is this feud kind of falling flat? Like, Rollins has been... His return is ruined for me already. Like, he's got no buzz around him. Because he came back as a fucking heel. He's got no... Like, he's 2 weeks back now. And it's basically like he never left. Like, there's no real buzz around him. I mean, I'm not that excited to see him. He's just kind of came back and is doing the chicken shit heel thing again. Which was good. But when someone returns after 6-7 months injury or 8 months... By nature, they're a hot baby face. Why nip that in the bud? I don't understand it. And now Rollins has kind of lost his buzz to me. I don't really care what he does, to be honest. The Reigns-Rollins feud is... I don't got no interest in it. Like, I know Reigns is going to win, first of all. And I want to cheer for Rollins. But I'm a wrestling fan, so I kind of feel bad for always cheering the heels. But I don't want to cheer for Reigns either. So, once again, they've confused the fans. They're doing it in every feud the last, 6 months. Let's confuse the shit out of our fans. They don't want to cheer Reigns. They want to cheer Rollins, but they're being told... to cheer Reigns and boo Rollins. It's a cluster again, man. We have the same conversation every time, don't we?
Well, because it's been the same forever. It's been the same for the last 2 years or whatever.
Well, last couple of years got really... Well, ever since that Daniel Bryan thing happened, and with Batista and everything, like, that's kind of when it started getting real weird in wrestling. Like, it almost started to get to the point where I don't know if they even... I don't know what Vince's agenda has been since then. It's like he's got so much...
Well, they're trying to make the next John Cena, right?
But go with the natural... Go with the guy that people want to cheer, and maybe he will be.
That's what we talked about before. The natural... It has to happen naturally. Like, all these big main stars, Hulk Hogan, yes, they put him in there, but if he didn't get over with the fans, it wasn't going to happen. Steve Austin,
all
The
these
Rock,
guys have mad talent.
Undertaker, even John Cena... If back in 2005, if the fans weren't behind John Cena, guess what? John Cena wouldn't be a fucking 15-time world champion right now if the fans didn't get behind him in 2005. Because I'll tell you what...
And not only that,
right now,
if John Cena couldn't talk, he wouldn't either.
I'll tell you right now, if you think John Cena is like... You hear him getting booed and stuff, go back and watch wrestling 10 years ago and tell me if John Cena's getting booed, because he's getting probably the loudest pop of the night. The fans were super behind him. It's only been the other
thing they were doing too.
It's only been the last few years, like probably the last 5 years, maybe they've been booing John Cena. You know what I mean?
Well, like Cena getting booed it didn't even matter because people were buying the pay-per-views and buying tickets because the guy had natural charisma and don't matter what they did. Like, he actually did draw a reaction. They're trying to sell that whole thing that Reigns has the same kind of impact. No. First of all, John Cena could do an interview. John Cena could sell himself. He's a natural, charismatic guy. I swear to fucking God, Roman Reigns has no charisma at all. Like, so it didn't matter whether Reigns or Cena was getting booed or not, man, because he sold merchandise, sold pay-per-views, and he could talk, and he was a character, and people got into him, and he had charisma. Reigns has none of those things.
Honestly,
Reigns has nothing.
Honestly, it as much a bad rap John Cena gets, I gotta say, man, some of the matches he was in, especially with the U.S. Open Challenge last year, and with like Kevin Owens. Some of those matches were phenomenal. I don't know if it's just the guys he was in with, but still, it takes two to tango, right? Like,
Well, it doesn't hurt to have a good guy in there with. But.
That's what I mean. So like some of those matches are really good. Roman Reigns, like they put him in with AJ Styles. That's the best matches he's had because they're putting him in with one of the best wrestlers in the world, man. Like if you put somebody in this ring with AJ Styles and they can't get a good match, then guess what? You're ruined, man. You just will get out. But I mean, if they put Roman Reigns like Rollins, so you're looking at they're going from AJ Styles to Rollins. I mean, that's two good guys to put him in the ring with. What happens when they got to put him in with somebody who's not up to that standard? It's going to be a fucking shit show.
What happens when they put him in there with Kane? Put him in there with Kane in the main event of a pay-per-view. See what happens.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to build these new stars. Can you imagine, like, Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin or something? That'd be a fucking shit show. Like, that'd be the worst match ever.
I don't know. I'm so frustrated. They're not even, like, it's all just propaganda. They're not trying to build new stars. At all. They're not even giving it a shot. All they're doing is waiting for Brock Lesnar to come back for a big SummerSlam match. They're waiting for Taker to come back to sell Survivor Series. They're waiting for John Cena to come back for the last 6 months so they can get a boost for ratings. They're still clinging. Now they're advertising Goldberg for fucking 2K17 because they're probably going to desperately try to get him back, and he's like circa 1997. They're not trying to build new stars because you know because there isn't nothing to build on. They just send these guys out there. There's no like. See the thing with Zayn last night where they're making fun of how he's Canadian.
Yeah.
Like what? Just little stuff like that makes the performer look like two guys like just make. I'm like, why even do that segment? I don't get. Like, what's the point of it? It didn't get anyone over. It didn't accomplish anything. It just made Zayn look like a retard. I'm like, what was the point of that? It was 3 minutes of television for no reason. All it did was just make Zayn look more stupid than he did when he went in. I don't get it.
You want to talk about a segment that didn't make any sense whatsoever?
Oh God, there's 3 or 4.
Apollo Crews and Big Show that made no goddamn sense. Still don't know what happened.
What's he supposed to be? Fucking God, he's supposed to be the Mickey to Rocky or something now. Like
I have no idea, man. So this is the thing. I remember reading
Big
years
Show
ago.
By the way, Big Show looked fucking retarded. Didn't Big Show look eat too? Man?
I remember years ago. I heard this, and we talked about this before, that they weren't going to bring anybody up to the main roster unless they had at least 3 months of story written for them. Yeah. To ensure that when they got to the main roster, they didn't just fall flat. They actually had some kind of story written. Well, that's definitely got to be out the window, man. Because Apollo Crews is doing nothing. Baron Corbin is doing absolutely nothing. Like what is this him and Dolph Ziggler thing? I don't understand. They kick each other in the balls. Is that the storyline? Like, is that seriously the storyline? Is that seriously their deal? They come out and they kick each other in the balls. Like, is there a joke there somewhere? Is this fucking 1996? Like, are we playing Rochambeau or something? Like,
oh, she's worse than 96, man. Like, that's their storyline, I guess. Like, say. It's worse. This is worse than 1985 is always a comparable that every wrestling fan goes to. That was the T.J. Hopper, Goon, Dukes Drosy era. But when I watched Raw last night, I actually thought to myself, this is actually worse. The opening segment, what the hell was that?
Well, see, the stuff goes on for too long.
What the hell did I just watch? Like, what am I like in grade 3 or something here?
Yeah, I just find stuff goes on for too long. So New Day comes out. They say that Steph and Shane should do a dance-off to see who runs SmackDown or whatever.
A dance-off.
Like,
a fucking dance-off, man. Yeah. Like, we're watching, like, you do know that the demographic, the average wrestling fan that watches Raw is from the ages of, like, 19 to 60 or something. Like, most kids don't actually watch wrestling because they're in bed because they got to go to school the next day. A dance-off.
So the funny thing was, the part that probably everybody wanted to see was Stephanie, obviously, because like you just said, they're grown men watching the show.
Well,
you want to see
her tits.
You want to see a girl dancing, right? As soon as she goes to do it, they cut it off as if to say, "Uh-oh, you don't get to see that. A swerve!" Kind of bullshit, right? And then you're just like, "All right, well, that was a waste of goddamn time."
I just want to see her fucking big old titties bouncing around on the screen. I didn't get to see that.
And then they get vaudevillains come out, and then you're like, "I don't care." Like,
well, I didn't. No, there was nothing. Like, that opening segment, once again, embarrassing. Like, that's what it is. Like, you wonder why people think wrestling is, like, for people that have IQs, like, 6. Because you turn on, like, if anybody would have turned that on last night, just like, I haven't watched wrestling in a while, I think I'll turn this on. You turn it off, you see 3 black dudes in there with a trombone or whatever the hell he's got, and go asking for a dance-off in the ring. Like, I'm like, But you do know that that's 15, 20 minutes of television that could be served to actually progress us. How about this? Progress a storyline.
So
come up with a new storyline. Give someone some airtime that they don't normally get. Write a decent promo for someone. Instead, let's waste 15 minutes on watching Shane McMahon dance with the New Day.
So I got there's 2 points I want to make. So let's say, for example, we take a TV show, a popular TV show. Let's say Game of Thrones or The Walking Dead. Probably 2 most popular TV shows out there today. If you take one of those shows, take 20 minutes of that show and have absolutely nothing happen, okay? Let me tell you something. The next day on the internet, people would be going absolutely ballistic about how that episode was garbage, nothing happened, what the hell is this show is going downhill. That's the first.
You're fucking right.
That's the first thing I have to say with that. Another thing is, like, they're talking about making SmackDown live and having a brand extension, right?
And equal to Raw, they came out with today and said that it's going to be.
So they're saying that there's so.
It's going to be equal.
Yeah, they're saying there's so much talent that it's for 2 shows. I want to break down the segments last night. Okay, they had that opening horrible segment, absolutely horrible.
That was horrible.
They had Apollo Crews, Big Show, Golden Truth, and Fandango or Breeze Dango or the fuck it is. That was horrendous.
That was horrible.
They had the John Cena segment, which is probably the best thing that happened last night, and that was saying something. What else did they have? They had the Charlotte thing going on for way too long that I don't care about.
They had nothing.
What was the main event?
The 6. What do you think?
Oh God, the same 6 guys that have been in matches for the last 2 months.
Every Raw main event is a 6-man tag.
And the thing is, these guys can wrestle, right? Yes, I get it. I like Owens, I like Zayn, I like Cesaro, I like Chris Jericho, I like The Miz even now. Like, these guys, I like them. Okay, I get it. They can wrestle, they can put on a good match. But guess what? I don't have to see them wrestle each other every single week. Change it up a bit, man. Like,
so you shake it up, man. But the thing is like, all these guys can wrestle, but who gives a shit? Give me a reason to watch them. Like, seriously, give me a reason to be interested in them, at least. At least give me something so I give a shit about some of these people. Like, all these guys came up through NXT, all these indie guys. I don't care about any of them. Like, I sit here and watch the TV, and I'm like, oh, that was a nice move. Oh, that was a decent match. Oh, that was pretty cool. But at the inside, like, in my heart, I don't actually care if they lose or if they win. And when you don't care about the outcome of the match, you're not doing anything. You're not being a character. You're not selling a story, or whether you're not given the right tools to do it with. I don't know what the story is, but I actually don't care. I'm numb to it. So all these guys come out and do all these wicked matches and everything. I'm at the point where it's like, well, did this guy give me any reason at all to be interested if he wins the IC title on Sunday night at Money in the Bank? Right. Do I care who wins the Money in the Bank match?
God, no.
Not really. No, because
I don't
care if Sam. No, it doesn't matter. If Kevin Owens wins it, oh, right on. Kevin Owens won. None of them give me a reason to give a shit. So, but anyway, back to what you're saying.
Well, look at it this way.
Night was a fucking mess.
To take your comment there, Stan, let's take, for example, Eddie Guerrero versus Chris Benoit. Back, say 10 whatever years ago, 2002, let's say, 2002, 2003. Because we talk about the Attitude Era a lot, right? Yeah, Rock, Austin, Mankind, yada, yada, yada. But there was also that, like, just after the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era. There's a lot of good stuff happened then, too, right? I cared. If Eddie Guerrero lost to Chris Benoit, I cared. Right? It made it. There was an impact there, right? You're like, it was so close. Cesaro could lose to The Miz on SmackDown or Monday, and it means nothing to me. Because guess what?
No.
Cesaro's probably going to get that win back next week because it's 50-50
I don't care
booking,
if he does or not.
Right? Who cares?
Exactly.
There's no build. There's no.
I don't even care. Like, Cesaro, like, I'm starting to think that Vince McMahon was right about him. Because he can wrestle, but, like, he's a charisma vacuum, man. Like, this new gimmick he's got is fucking horrible, by the way. This James Bond gimmick or something. Like, that gotta go. I mean, honestly. Yeah. Like, this is horrible. Like, he comes out dressed like fucking goddamn Goldfinger or something. Like, what the hell is he doing? It's just a horrible gimmick. But he's been around for a few years now, and he's given lots of TV time, and he's given lots of chances to do stuff. And except for wrestle, once again, I don't know. I find him pretty boring, to be honest. Once he, put it this way, just like every other guy that's coming up lately, the last couple of years, once they step outside the wrestling ring, once they step outside the ropes, walk down the stairs and go up the ramp, I no longer give a shit. And that's not good.
There's only one guy, I think, in that whole group that's really stands out for me is Kevin Owens. Like
Kevin Owens.
When he's legitimately funny because
he's the only one.
He actually reminds me of Jericho a little bit. That he plays a really good heel, but he's also like funny at the same time. Like when Jericho and Owens were arguing there last night, that was the only time in the whole show where I actually laughed because Owens was like, Jericho, I thought we had something going, like we were friends, and he's like, no man, you suck. And he goes, he's like,
Owens is hilarious.
He looks at him, he's like, there's only one person walking away from Money in the Bank, and that's moi. And he looks at Owens, he's like, that's French. And Owens goes, I know. Like, because Owens is French, you know what I mean? Like, it's those little jokes that it's hilarious. But then you got like the opposite side of that. They had Zayn and Cesaro and Dean Ambrose talking, and Cesaro.
Oh crap! Oh, that was horrible. Yeah. But man, like all of them, like just go on. If you had, I wish you had a list, or if I had a list here, of like, I don't know. Like listen, this is a podcast, and we're here to express opinions, but this hard on that everybody's got for the indie talent. Unless they start selling fucking tickets and getting me to actually get interested, because I'm a wrestling fan, but I'm a wrestling fan for a lot of reasons, and primary thing is wrestling, but there's a lot of other reasons why I got into wrestling when I was younger too, and I still hold on to those things, and that's being entertained. And unless all these fucking geeks, that's basically what they are, come out and start doing something besides flipping around the ring like a bunch of monkeys for 20 minutes and calling it a wicked match, I'm not interested in none of them, man. Like, I don't care. I don't have any. Neville, Zayn, they're all tarred with the same brush, cut from the same cloth. I don't do something.
The thing is, like,
show me.
I'm on
do something.
I'm on the mind that like I like Sami Zayn, I like Kevin Owens, I like that whole like mid card that's going on. I like them as like wrestlers, as performers. And yes, you do
like them as wrestlers, but are you emotionally invested in them?
Well, that's what I was saying. Any one of them can lose. I don't care. But
you don't give a shit.
I don't know if that falls really totally on top of them, because they were getting back to the Cody Rhodes thing. How much freedom they have to do what they can, do what they want, and how much are they getting handcuffed with creative and what they're being put into.
Well, there's that, and there's also, do they have the natural ability to sell tickets and get over, even if they had a chance?
I think Owens
not everybody's The Rock, and not everybody. Well, if Owens is a standard alone, let's leave him out of it, because Owens is. I think we can both agree that Owens is. He's a notch above everybody else right now. But not everybody is Eddie Guerrero, The Rock. Not everybody given a chance can make it. So my question is it 50% not given a chance, 50% can you fucking do it even if you had the chance? And right now, like when I look at Sami Zayn, I don't see anything but. Like I don't see, even when he's in the ring and he's wrestling, he's a good wrestler, but even his facial expressions, his storytelling, I don't see any character even waiting to come out. Like he doesn't, he's not the guy that you look at and go, wow, 5 years from now. Now, I might be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, actually. But Neville's and all these guys that are caught up to Baron Corbin, all of them, maybe they can do it, but I don't see it, and I don't know if it's Vince's fault or if it's just today is just wrestlers, and that's what nobody's trained to do anything else but wrestle anymore. And maybe they're not capable of it. Maybe they're just not capable of being The Rock. They're not capable of being Austin, because all they do is wrestle. Like, I don't know.
So
I hope I'm wrong.
Well, me too, and I agree. The only one I can see, like, even you look at, I'm trying to look at NXT guys too. Who could they bring up?
Who else has come up? Just
well, let's see.
Apollo.
Let's see.
Okay,
like,
Neville. We could Corbin, Apollo Crews,
yeah, but they're all
Zayn.
Garbage, man. Like, well, I'm not gonna say Zayn's garbage. I'm just saying.
No, Zayn's. Oh, Jesus, no.
I know what you're saying when you say that. Like,
yes,
he doesn't have.
I don't want to be taken out of context. No, I don't want to be taken out of context. All I say is I don't give a shit about him. Like, if you ask me, do I like Zayn? I would say I don't know. Like, I don't dislike him, but I don't like him. If you ask me, do I like Neville? I would say I don't know. I don't like him. What I'm saying is, like, fuck me, man. Zayn's not garbage. Neville's not garbage. Holy crap. The guys can wrestle their ass off. Well, who else came up? Apollo Crews garbage. Admit that.
I think Baron Corbin's garbage too. I don't think he was.
Baron Corbin's garbage. Can we talk about his belly button first, or have we talked about that?
We talked about it before, and your dislike for his belly button, yes, but.
Oh, okay. Anyway, yeah, But who else came up? So there's
the Vaudevillains. Corbin.
The Vaudevillains, another one. Like, whatever. They actually got a bit of a character, but because
they're gonna die off.
WWE just. Yeah, but I actually remember I think it was last podcast, I went on a rant about how they should have been brought in with vignettes.
Enzo and Cass Enzo and Cass are the standouts, I think, right now. In terms.
Well, Enzo and Cass are going to be. Well, I don't know. I'm a little worried about them too because they're normally wrestlers just go off catchphrases, don't last too long. So hopefully they got more layers to them than just.
I don't know, man. They're super over right now. Like
they're almost over people aside from Cena and Styles last night.
Man, they got
to be the top of the night, didn't they?
Yeah, they were. I'm honestly surprised they're that over. Like they were over in NXT, but I didn't think they're going to get over that big. And like they're on SportsCenter tonight with the coach.
Yeah,
like that's over.
But why are they over? Because look at Enzo, man. He got mad charisma. Like he's a machine on the microphone.
Oh yeah.
So once again, that's all it takes. Like if you said to me, "Well, what do you think about Enzo Cass?" I actually would have an opinion on them, though. You know why? Because they elicit some kind of reaction from me. Like whether or not I like him or not, and I do like him. But even if I didn't, that's a good thing. You know why? Because at least it give me a reason to care about him. Like, if you don't like someone, that means you care enough not to like him, I guess. Everybody else is just like, oh. Who else is in NXT right now? So, they're going to come up, they're going to destroy Balor.
Well, see, that's what I'm about to say. Finn Balor, you know what I know they're going to ruin him, but in my opinion, because I've heard Finn Balor do promos in the past, and Finn Balor's not that good of a promo guy. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody can argue with me, but I can tell you right now, he's not that good of a promo guy. You know what they should do to that guy? He should come up and not say a goddamn thing. His character, he got as the demon or whatever, can be like an Undertaker character. When was Undertaker's first promo? I don't say he fucking did a promo for the first 7 years of his career in WWE.
Well, it was late. Paul Bearer would talk for like 20 minutes. And then at the very end, the Undertaker would look at the camera and go, Rest in peace.
That was it.
So that was his promo for the first 6 years.
Why can't they do that with Finn Balor? Like, I don't.
Well, he should.
Because you can tell a story without cutting a promo. Is the thing though. Like, it depends on like you said, your facial expressions, your body language, how you like grasp the character. The crowd. Yeah, you grasp that crowd in the palm of your hand. You can do whatever you want with them. You hear the guys, the actual legends say, like, you can mold the crowd with your hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's what they need to do with Balor. He needs to come up. They need to do the demon intro. He needs to come out and make an impact. And just don't come out and be like, I'm Finn Balor. And you know what I mean? Like, because he's Irish. Because he's Irish, it kills the mystique for me. I know. Oh, yeah. I know. Like, listen, I got a horrible Newfoundlander accent, but it kills the mystique. If you see a guy come out who's supposed to be this badass demon, and then he's like, "I'm Finn Balor," and then you're like, "All right," you know what I mean? You don't believe it for a second. You're like, "That guy's not a demon. That guy's some Irish drunk." You know what I mean? Like,
I know. They'll ruin him, but I agree that they shouldn't have him talk. They should just keep him quiet, have him be like a mysterious character. They're kind of. And play off that for a long time too, instead of just because you got no patience, right? So after like 2 months, you'll have him come out and cut a 20-minute promo.
Oh yeah, he'll come out and
you're like, really?
They've done it in NXT already. Like,
well, even like the Irish accent and stuff. Like, we can't talk about accents, but like even for Sheamus, like it kind of kills him because he comes out and he's just like big ass fucking
and be arse
scary looking dude. Then he gets on the microphone and he's like, "Why you get me all stand?" You're just like, what? Like this doesn't work anymore.
Becky Lynch is the same deal for me. Every time I hear her, I just I hear that really thick accent. And like I said, we got no room to be talking about accents. And people.
Yeah, but I'm not on TV trying to sell tickets. I'm only on a whole podcast here, freaking shooting shit. I'm not on TV. But yes, keep quiet. Freaking. So, what else has been going on really since last time we talked?
Well, listen, like
everything for me.
We want to talk about Extreme Rules a little bit. I want to talk about the Asylum match or whatever the fuck it was.
Oh, that was the worst match I've ever seen in life.
Okay, yeah, it was absolutely shit. But I got to give props to Chris Jericho for being like almost 50 years old and taking that thumbtack spot.
Well, he saved the match with that spot too. But
like
if he didn't do that spot, that would have been.
I've heard it said before, like there's no reason he needs to do that. He's Chris. No, he's Chris fucking Jericho. He doesn't need to do spots like that, but he did do it. So props to him, man, because that's I don't care what anybody says. People will see that wrestling is fake and all this crap. See that guy take some thumbtacks in the back. It might not be the worst thumbtack spot ever, but that guy is his age, with his pedigree.
You say, man, he's fucking goddamn 46 years old, man.
With his pedigree too, man. He's been around the world. He's got every championship and all this stuff. He doesn't need to be taking those crazy spots like that. And here he is jumping into thumbtacks. Like, come on.
And kudos to him too for, like I say, completely saving that match. Because up until that thumbtack spot at the end, when he completely, like I said, he didn't have to do that. He's fucked Chris Jericho. He don't have to be. Leave that for the young guys. But
the thing is, you know what? They need to get rid of. They need to get rid of Extreme Rules if they're gonna stay a PG.
Oh, it's done.
If they're gonna stay PG, they can't do Extreme Rules.
They're gone even more PG now and is newer than they were before. That's what I'm saying. Like the product has gone even more like 1990s, mid 1990s than it was even before. But
they need to get rid of Extreme Rules. Then how can you have an Extreme Rules pay per view and nobody gets busted open? No, there's no blood. There's no.
Because their idea of Extreme Rules is friggin' bamboo sticks, man.
Like, it makes no sense. Like, that is silent match.
Actually,
how can
there's
like
what?
If you go back 30 years and you look at a promoter and say we're gonna have a steel cage match, but we're not gonna get color. You're not gonna get busted open. He'd be like, "You're fucking nuts. That's not gonna sell. Nobody's gonna watch that match.
Well, it's not gonna sell.
Who's gonna believe you're in a?
Let me ask you a question.
Who's gonna believe you're in a steel cage with barbed wire baseball bats and stuff, and you're not gonna get busted open? That's ridiculous. It completely ruins the mystique and the realism of it. Like it doesn't even make sense to me.
No, I agree with you. Like I said before, last podcast too. Ambrose needs to go kill himself. Like he's the one that he's lacking with the Shield guys now. Like I mean, let me ask you a question: since the Shield broke up, because Ambrose, I've noticed he's having a lot of average pay-per-view matches. Like I can't remember the last pay-per-view match. Like Reigns has had killer matches on pay-per-view. Rollins had awesome matches last year on pay-per-view. Since the Shield broke up, and I only got one in mind. It was okay. That roadblock match with Triple H was average. It was pretty good, I guess. But has Dean Ambrose had a great match since the Shield broke up? Because if he has, I'm hard pressed to find it. Seriously.
Well, who's he feuded with? He feuded with Bray Wyatt.
He had good talent to feud with. He's been in constant feuds, getting mid-card to high mid-card pay-per-view matches, getting 15-20 minutes a night. He had the match with Lesnar, which was underwhelming.
God,
he's had chances to do it. Dean Ambrose has not had a great match with anybody since the Shield broke up. He hasn't, as far as I know, unless someone can tell me. But.
Well, because you know what? If you know anything about his past, a lot of people don't know who Dean Ambrose was before. Right? But if you want to know, if anybody wants to know who Dean Ambrose was before, look up online Johnny Moxley. Okay, that's who Dean Ambrose was before, and he was in CZW. He was in Combat Zone Wrestling.
Yeah, I know who Johnny Moxley was.
Where basically they were death matches. This guy was in like fluorescent tube rope matches and like barbed wire exploding cage matches and this kind of shit, right? You watch most of his matches and there's like blood everywhere and there's all kinds of weapons. This is craziness, right? You put him in an asylum match like he was at Extreme Rules where nobody gets busted open. It just looks stupid. So I don't think his style is fitting well with the character and the product that they have today. If you would have had Dean Ambrose in ECW in like 1998, he'd be a goddamn star. He'd be the biggest guy in ECW company's history probably. Then you bring him over into WWE into the Attitude Era when they were doing all the whole hardcore thing. He'd be like Mick Foley legend. I guarantee it.
I know what you're saying. So, but basically, what you're saying is he can't wrestle. He's just a fucking guy that can go to beat shit out of people with like.
He's Mick Foley. He really is. I think, and if you put Mick Foley in his prime in today's product, he'd be absolute garbage.
Oh, well, he'd just be a fat piece of shit rolling around the ring.
That's what I mean. So I think it's the product. I don't think it is him, yes, but I don't think his style fits today's product. In my opinion, I think that he's fitted more for a more violent aspect of it that he can't really, because him and Jericho in an asylum match or whatever, cage match with weapons, whatever,
horrible match.
You put that back 20 years ago, that match would have been a fucking bloodbath, right? And it would have been amazing, probably, in my opinion. But at Extreme Rules, that was absolute shit. And listen, I like Jericho. Like we talked about this before, Jericho's probably my favorite wrestler. Jericho can put off a deadly match, and
he had nothing going for him in that match. I mean, like I said, I don't know. I agree with everything you just said about Ambrose, so to speak, to the point that his style doesn't really mix. But I mean, if he's supposed to be this exceptional talent, for what I was always told anyway, learn to adapt. If you're so fucking good at it, then do something else or try something different. But I don't
think he's that good.
He's just another one of the guys that's on TV that is basically just doing nothing for me. Like Dean Ambrose does nothing for me. He's too goofy. Like he's a fucking goddamn cartoon character or something. Like I can't take him serious because he looks like my fucking grandfather. He got no muscle on him. He's like 160 pounds.
Well, that's what I mean. That's why he would be more of like a hardcore. Like Mick Foley wasn't ripped. A lot of the hardcore guys. Terry Funk wasn't ripped.
No,
Tommy Dreamer wasn't ripped. Raven wasn't ripped. A lot of these guys back in the ECW kind of hardcore.
Tommy Dreamer was jacked, wasn't he?
Well, not really. Like he started to get that kind of. He wore a shirt because
he's fat.
You know what I mean? The thing was, these guys, the style. I still think it's the style. And like you said, yes, if he was good enough to switch that style and move over, but I don't think he's that good enough. I think he's good, but I don't think he's that good enough because that takes talent,
I think he's
right?
good, but
like,
I mean,
look at all those.
He's just another guy.
Look at all those guys that were superstars in ECW and WCW that moved over to WWE. How many of them actually made it? How many of them actually could change their style to match the WWE's? There's only really one ECW guy, and that's RVD. Really.
Yeah, there wasn't very many. Well, not very many people got a chance either because Vince's. If you weren't made in the WWE, you ain't getting no fucking chance with me.
WCW had Jericho.
You never had a chance to hell really make. Well, all the guys that came over like Big Show, Jericho, Eddie, Benoit.
Well, see those guys. You're looking at some major talent there, though. You're looking at.
But then Vince could ruin you too, man. Look what he did to DDP for Jesus' sake.
Yeah. So you're looking at some. Even Goldberg. Look what they did to Goldberg.
Well, that's Triple H did that too.
Right. So there's a lot.
Look what they did to Scott Steiner. That was Steiner,
Buff Bagwell.
Okay, Buff Bagwell was horrible fucking shit.
Yeah, but WCW had him built up. Is like he was one of their main guys.
Buff Bagwell was fucking. That's why WCW went into business right there. People always say it was Russo and stuff. No, when Buff Bagwell is one of your main guys,
Jeff Jarrett, Jeff Jarrett's your champion. Like, come on.
So just a couple of tidbits here I just want to get to because this is stuff that came out today, and it's a little bit more like what happened at the present time.
We'll do a lightning round for the end of it.
Yeah, this is just a quick little thing here. Just a couple of things. But just give me like a minute reply on what you think about this. Apparently Vince is down on Sasha Banks.
Heard it.
Because he thinks she's injury prone. Compared to he compares her to Daniel Bryan kind of thing. And Stephanie might be taking her place for that big SummerSlam feud with Charlotte. And that kind of makes sense based off that little. She took the lady balls off of fucking Charlotte last night pretty good. So what do you think about that? What do you think of Vince's new stance on Charlotte? Or Sasha, sorry.
How long has she been on the main roster, man? She's only got a chance to be injured once. You know what I mean?
I suppose she's been here last summer. She came.
Yeah, and she's only been injured once. I mean, how is she injury prone? It's one injury, man. Like, yeah, if she got.
Did she get it? Did she get injured in NXT a lot or something?
I don't remember it, but I mean, I haven't really watched her a lot in NXT really, where she was called up. But I mean, is it a serious injury? I don't remember hearing about her having surgery. I thought it was just.
All right, your time. Your time's up.
I thought it was being kept under wraps, but.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I agree with you. Yeah, she's been hurt once. I want to see what the big deal is.
I think there's a lot of smirks talking this. I don't think that's real.
Kurt Angle says AJ Styles is better in the ring than HBK. What do you think about that?
Ooh,
that's what he said a couple of days ago. He said AJ Styles is as good, if not better, than Shawn Michaels ever was. Just talking about in the ring. We're not talking about DX charisma.
In ring,
just in ring,
I'd probably say yeah. A lot of Shawn Michaels, I think, was the way he could tell the story in a way he wasn't actually his wrestling ability, but he could tell the story. So
especially in these later years,
I could hear, right? Like, I mean, what did Shawn Michaels really do? Super kick and elbow drop.
Well, it was in his later years too. Like his '90s stuff is okay. Like he was good. He was one of the best wrestlers, and his early 2000s stuff was still okay. The last 3 or 4 years there, when he started getting into those Undertaker feuds and he started, his matches became more of a storytelling, like that Ric Flair match, the retirement match. So to your point, yeah, I started getting more into him. Actually, kind of when he slowed down his flamboyancy a bit and just started telling stories is when I started getting more into him, kind of thing. Never really a huge fan of it. Well, he was
Well, the
great
thing was,
wrestler.
I don't remember seeing a Shawn Michaels match and being like, oh wow, Shawn Michaels is an amazing wrestler. I remember seeing those matches and being like, all right, that was a good wrestling match. Like, so in terms of the two guys putting off a story, I enjoyed the whole thing as a whole. I don't remember saying, oh well, he did a good single effort there. With Styles, I've seen it, you know what I mean? Like him and Reigns, well, AJ Styles fucking carried that match, you know what I mean? Like he can carry somebody like that. Michaels can do it. I'm sure I've seen him do it in the past. I don't know. It's kind of I don't know, man. It's a little early to tell. I mean, I know Styles is a bit old at this point to be doing.
The Styles got to 40 years old, man.
You got to look at he was in TNA for a while, so I mean, he didn't really get to work with the best talents.
That's the worst thing. I wish Styles would have came 6-7 years earlier. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. My opinion on that is in
Close,
the ring.
Man. It's close.
I don't know, man.
If I'd make that bold of a statement.
I don't know. Like, I don't think it's that big of. I don't even think it's that big of a bold statement. I mean, I think the WWE does exactly what they do to Triple H. Like, Shawn Michaels was a great wrestler, but they over-exaggerate how good he was, man. Like, I've seen every Shawn Michaels match. If you talk to the WWE, he's basically the fucking Jesus of wrestling or something. Shawn Michaels was a good wrestler. He was in my opinion, he's no better than Chris Jericho. He was no better than Edge. He was a good wrestler. He was given the opportunities to do a lot more, but the way the WWE talks about him is sells him. He's basically the Ultimate Warrior effect. There's 2 DVDs on Ultimate Warrior. Go watch the Self-Destruction 10 years ago, and watch the last one they put out like 6 months ago. It's the same company putting out the DVD. How could that be the same company? One is about what a piece of shit he was, and he was the worst person that ever lived. And the one that came out last year is how he was humanitarian and a great guy, and he's fucking a hero to millions of people. So it's basically whatever the WWE wants you to think, you're going to be told to think it. AJ Styles, I haven't seen enough of him, really. I mean, I watched him in TNA. I watched a little bit of stuff he did in Japan and stuff, but I haven't seen enough of him. I've seen probably only 25, 30 full matches from the guy. I've seen every Shawn Michaels match. I don't think it's that bold of a statement. I don't think Shawn Michaels is the greatest wrestler of all time, first of all. So,
and like I said,
I don't think it's that bold of a statement.
Shawn Michaels has a lot to do with, like I said,
than,
how he wrestled, how he told the story. AJ Styles.
Well, that was his later.
AJ Styles the same way, but AJ Styles can move. I think AJ Styles has a better ring presence. Like, he can move better. He's doing better moves. He's got more of an array of moves. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Well, it depends on what kind of style you're into too. Like, I've always preferred the Kurt Angle, Bret Hart, and Chris Benoit styles of the world, like that kind of wrestler, as opposed to the AJ Styles, Shawn Michaels, high flying style. That's just personally I got nothing wrong with the high flyers like Ricky Steamboat, Shawn Michaels. Those kind of guys, I got nothing wrong with those guys. Are high flyers, but I was like I said, the Harts, the Benoits, the Angles, the mat wrestlers that made it like a real story. That was kind of my preference. So if someone told me that Shawn Michaels was a better wrestler than Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit, or Bret Hart, something, I'd say you're fucking crazy. But other people could say, well, sure he is. He's the best. Like, him and Chris Jericho are better than Kurt Angle. Like, it's all just a matter of, it's so subjective, right? But that's look, for Kurt Angle to say that, and actually there's been a lot of people coming out lately talking about how Styles is. But anyway, I got one more thing for you. But you gotta have Tony Schiavone works at Starbucks, man. What are your views on that? He actually does. I swear to God.
Imagine going from being the announcer of the biggest wrestling company in the world to working at a Starbucks.
Man, do you think every time someone orders coffee, he says, "This is the greatest cup of coffee in the history of our sport"?
You're about to drink the greatest cup of coffee that Starbucks has ever made. And then you get it, and it's like mediocre at best. You just drink it, and you're like, "Oh, it's okay, I guess."
This is the greatest night in the history of our sport. Yeah, so I read her. Seriously, I read her. I'm not even joking about it. Apparently, apparently there's a video of it somewhere. I haven't watched the video. Maybe it's a joke, but apparently Schiavone works at Starbucks. And that might be the best news of the year for me. Like, that's
I think that's probably what we'll end the podcast on. In that news right there.
I know, that's
the great, best Starbucks worker of all time.
So, well, you're not supposed to ask for a large coffee.
Is it Venti or something? Isn't it? This is the best Venti coffee I'll ever get.
So I don't think there's much else. Like, it's been a tough time. Like, we'll just end it, like I said, a bit of a downer because it's been a tough time the last few weeks. Like, the product is getting hard to watch. I don't know if it's just me, but like there's some big. The thing is, there's big money matches going on. Or well, not big money because Reigns can't sell shit. But like the matches itself, like you got AJ and Cena potentially, and that's a huge match, right? The face of TNA versus the face of WWE. Like that's a big match. And
if it's built correctly, that could be absolutely monstrous.
That's huge. So that's coming up at Money in the Bank. It looks like, and then you got Rollins and
hold on, I'll stop you here for a
Reigns.
second. There's no chance in hell that should happen at Money in the Bank. No chance.
No, that should have held up to
definitely,
SummerSlam.
Man. Build it till SummerSlam. No chance that should happen right now. No chance. If they book it, if they book it, you know what they should do? They should have something happen that it can't happen. They can't have that happen to Money in the Bank. It can't happen. I don't agree with that whatsoever. Like, no.
No, I don't think it should happen either. Horrible.
Listen now. All right. Money in the Bank looks like it's going to be absolute garbage for me. Let me tell you that. Because
Money in the Bank's always shit.
Like, they're going to open the show with Corbin and Dolph Ziggler.
Again?
You're going to get New Day versus Gallows and Anderson.
Oh, that's going to be fucking goddamn.
Titus O'Neil is the new U.S. title contender. So that's absolutely horrible. You're going to get Enzo and Cass versus the Dudleys again for the millionth time, probably.
That's horrible, too.
Then you're going to get, hopefully not, AJ Styles and John Cena. And you're going to get Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, which is going to be a throwaway. Roman Reigns is going to win, and everybody's going to fucking hate it. And another pay-per-view ends with everybody booing.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely going to end
with... 4 in a row now? Four pay-per-views in a row where everybody's booing?
But I swear to God, they're trying to freaking break the record for the worst pay-per-view endings of all time.
Well, last year,
it's
Extreme Rules. They tried with Rollins coming out in pedigree and Reigns, but people were still booing the ending of the match. Like, people were like, "All right, screw this," and then Rollins comes out. So the last 30 seconds, they were trying to save the whole pay-per-view. That's not how it works, man. That's not to me. That's just cheap. That's just cheap to me.
No, I agree. Like that, everything you just said. The Rollins-Reigns feud, if Reigns was a heel and Rollins was a face, because they used to be in the Shield and there's a big backstory, that's a huge match. Because, but Reigns needs to be the heel. Right now, this match, the way they're going into this match right now with Reigns as the babyface, it just makes no sense. It's complete opposite of what everybody wants. So the match is a clusterfuck. I agree with you about Cena. That should be held off till SummerSlam. What's up with JBL? The New Day's corner stop move or whatever? JBL kept calling it the glory hole on Raw.
The what?
The glory hole. Did you hear that? This corner stomp thing that the New Day does, he's like, oh, the glory hole. I'm like, alright.
Yeah.
I'm like, JBL's so old, he doesn't know what a glory hole is.
JBL's the worst anyway, man. JBL's the worst.
But, so yeah, the glory hole, Shivani versus Starbucks.
Shivani at Starbucks is the highlight of the podcast.
Is there not better than AJ Styles? Oh, that's the best thing I've heard. Like, I gotta find out where he's living. I gotta go down.
Well, you got to, because you gotta hear him say it. I'd actually ask him to say it. I'd be like, all right, Tony Schiavone, you have to say it. That this is the best coffee that Starbucks has ever made.
I wonder if he's going to give away what the next coffee is going to be, like he used to give away Raw results. He'd be like, Mick Foley's going to come in for a coffee next week.
That's going to bring in some profit.
Mick Foley is yeah, good old Shivani. That's funny. But anyway, good times. We'll
hopefully we'll do this again.
I want to give a shout out because we're Canadian too. I want to give a shout out to Gord Downey from the Tragically Hip because as being a Canadian, they're basically etched in stone in Canada as being like even anybody, especially from our generation, even if you didn't like them, like there's all our memories. There's so many memories of the Tragically Hip music being on. I'm sure when people in Canada were doing stuff. So hopefully he can. I know he's not going to fight it, but shout out to Gord Downey.
Yeah, and hopefully this whole deal with the scalpers driving up the ticket prices is going to get fixed out.
That's been happening forever too, and now they're only starting to realize it, which kind of pisses me off.
And one more thing before we leave now, I got to give a shout out to Will Sullivan for doing our our intro and outro music. I meant meaning to give him a shout out for last like 5 episodes or something, but we keep just forgetting because we get wrapped up in our wrestling talks and gets all emotional.
Well, we're just
we get all emotional. We're like fucking wrestling, fucking. And then we forget all about it. So.
Yeah. But it's not you, Willie. Trust me. We didn't forget about you. But good. He's a good man.
Good shout out to Will there because I honestly said, Will, we need some intro music for a wrestling podcast, and he was like, all right, and he did it. I didn't even, that's the first thing he sent me, so, and it was perfect in my opinion. I thought it excellent. It is exactly what I wanted for it, so.
He hit the nail on the head with that one, so good shout out to Billy. I'm glad you remembered. So that's it. Well, I don't know what we're going to get back at it next, probably the next week or two.
Yeah, we'll hopefully try to get another one out soon.
If anybody's wondering, if anybody listens and wondering what's happening, it's basically we're on work schedules are kind of conflicting at the moment, and it's a little bit more tricky for us to kind of pinpoint the time to do it. But hopefully in the next couple of weeks or a few weeks, we kind of get it sorted out and get back to a regular schedule. Right?
Yeah, and we're gonna soon put all the podcasts up on YouTube and iTunes. So as soon as that's done, everybody check us out on there. All right, so that's Ringside Reality for another week. Till next time.
All right, have a good night, everybody.